60 to 70% of strategic alliances fail. That number hasn't moved in decades. Not for lack of trying. An entire industry of consultants, frameworks, and playbooks exists to fix it. And still, 60 to 70%. Here's what nobody says out loud. Most people assume partnerships die from conflict. Two companies stop getting along. They fight, they split. That's the story we tell. It's wrong. The most dangerous partnerships don't die from conflict. They die from success. The alliance works. It hits its numbers. Everyone's celebrating. And while they're celebrating, one partner is quietly walking away with the other's crown jewels. By the time the weaker company realizes what happened, it doesn't have a partnership problem. It has an existential one. Today, I'm not giving you the usual advice. Not communication, not shared goals. You've heard that at every conference. It changes nothing. I'm going to show you the real mechanism and 4 strategies, most of which sound almost cynical, that the winners use anyway. Because the best strategists in the world don't treat every alliance as a marriage. They treat it as competition in a different costume. Let's kill the myth, because you can't defend against a threat you've romanticized. The story every partnership tells itself is simple. 1 + 1 = 3. We each bring something. We combine. Everybody wins. Synergy. Here's the sharper truth. It comes from Gary Hamel, Yves Doze, and C.K. Prahalad, 3 of the best strategy minds who ever studied real alliances. Their conclusion was blunt. Collaboration is competition, in a different form. Think about what a partnership actually is. You open your operations to another company. They see how you price, how you build, who your customers are, what your engineers know. In the name of working together, you hand a potential rival a guided tour of everything that makes you hard to beat. And here's the part that kills companies. The 2 partners are not learning from each other at the same rate. One company is systematically absorbing what the other knows. One is treating the partnership as a classroom. The other is treating it as a comfortable arrangement. The classroom always wins. A partnership isn't just value creation, it's also value transfer. If you're not managing which direction the value flows, gravity decides. And gravity usually favors whoever came in with a clearer plan to extract. So the real question of any partnership isn't, how do we succeed together? It's, who walks out of this stronger? Let's make sure it's you. Enter every partnership with an explicit list of what you intend to learn, and a clock on how fast you'll learn it. Hamel, Dawes, and Prahalad studied 15 alliances in depth over 5 years. The pattern they found kept repeating. The partner who treated the alliance as a race to acquire skills came out ahead. Every time. The one who treated it as a way to avoid building a capability came out hollowed. The goal of an alliance is not to be comfortable inside it. The goal is to emerge from it more competitive than when you entered. Here's why this is existential. When you rely on a partner for a critical capability instead of building it, you're not filling a gap. You're renting a limb. And the day the partnership ends, you discover you never learned to walk on your own. Meanwhile, if your partner was running the race and you were jogging, they now have your capability and theirs. Before you sign anything, your leadership team answers 3 questions in writing. What specific capability do we intend to walk away with? Not, we'll learn a lot. Name it. Their manufacturing tolerances, their enterprise sales motion, their regulatory playbook. Learning without a named owner and a deadline doesn't happen. Assign it. What's our timeline to no longer needing them for it? That's your finish line. Put it on a calendar. Then run reviews against those learning goals. With the same discipline you'd run them against revenue. Do this hardest when you're the smaller partner, and when the partnership touches something close to your core. The closer the alliance sits to what actually makes you money, the faster you need to be running. Decide in advance, on paper, exactly what your partner will and will not be allowed to see. Then deliberately narrow the interface between the two companies. Here's the uncomfortable finding from the same research. The amount of value that leaked out of a company had less to do with the contract and more to do with how much access the partner had to people, facilities, and information day to day. Contracts govern what's legal. They don't govern what a curious engineer picks up in a hallway over 18 months. And there's a second trap, just as fatal. The researchers called it a dependency spiral. A weaker partner, afraid of becoming disposable, keeps revealing more and more of what it knows, just to stay interesting. Each disclosure makes it more replaceable, not less. It's buying loyalty with its own secrets, and every payment brings it closer to being discarded. 2 failure modes: leak too much through open access, or give away the store trying to stay wanted. Both end the same way. 3 moves. Do all 3. Draw the line first. Before negotiations get warm, classify your assets into 3 buckets. Freely shareable, shareable under strict terms, and never. The things that if a partner absorbed them, would let them replace you. That 3rd bucket doesn't go on the table, at any price. Narrow the interface. Route the partnership through a defined, limited set of people and touch points. Don't blend the 2 organizations together. The wider you fling the doors open, the more walks out that you never agreed to give. Contribute value that's real, but not teachable. The strongest position in a partnership is one where you provide something the partner genuinely needs, but can't easily internalize by watching you. That's what keeps you needed without bleeding you dry. You want to be indispensable, not absorbable. Do this as a non-negotiable when your partner is a current or plausible future competitor, and when they're notably larger. Size asymmetry is a warning light. The bigger, more practiced partner is usually the better learner. In this game, the better learner wins. Negotiate your exit terms in full before you ever sign. Partnerships are formed in a state of optimism, and that optimism is exactly what makes them dangerous. Nobody wants to be the person at the altar asking about the divorce. So, exit terms get waved through, left vague, or skipped entirely. Then trouble comes, and the base rates say it will, and there's no agreed mechanism. A business dispute curdles into a business war. This gets catastrophic in the 50-50 structure. People choose 50-50 because it feels fair. Equal ownership feels like partnership in its purest form. But equal ownership strips away the one thing that resolves disputes: a majority. There's no natural tiebreaker, no one with the power to force a decision, no default mechanism to break a deadlock. Both owners can block everything, both can command nothing. The company dies of paralysis, while both sides are technically in charge. Here's the tell that separates professionals from amateurs. In well-run joint ventures, around 95% of deals define the exit terms at the outset. Compare that to ordinary partnerships, where most parties skip it entirely. The best deal makers don't see a pre-agreed exit as pessimism. They see it as the thing that lets them enter boldly in the first place. Before signing, put 4 things on paper. Triggers, the specific events that let either side exit. Uncured breach, insolvency, a change of control, sustained failure to hit milestones. Concrete events, not moods. A deadlock mechanism, a pre-agreed path for when you can't agree. A cooling off period, escalation to CEOs, then a structured buyout provision. Pick one now, while you're calm, not mid-fight. Who keeps what? How assets, customers, IP, and people get divided on the way out. Decide custody in advance. A standalone plan. What each company needs to survive alone the day it ends. Which loops straight back to strategy 1. If you ran the learning race, you can walk away. If you didn't, the exit clause won't save you. One caution: don't overdo it. One reviewed agreement had exit triggers tied to deadlock on more than 30 separate board decisions. So many tripwires. The partnership could barely function. A clean escape hatch. Not 30 of them. Apply a brutal pre-deal filter. And be willing to walk away from partnerships that fail it, even when your team is excited. This is the least popular strategy. It means saying no to deals people want. But it's the highest leverage one, because the cheapest failed partnership is the one you never enter. One veteran of this field put it directly. The short answer to why so many alliances fail is that most of them should never have been started. No basic compatibility between the partners. All the governance and communication skill in the world can't rescue a deal that was structurally doomed at signing. And yet companies rush in, because partnership feels like progress, because a competitor announced one, because it's easier than building. The data backs the discipline. Companies that approach alliances ad hoc, opportunistically, report dramatically lower success rates than those with a structured, repeatable process. The single biggest predictor of a good partnership isn't chemist. It's whether you had a system for deciding to enter at all. Run every proposed partnership through 4 hard filters before anyone gets emotionally invested. Strategic fit. Do your goals actually converge, or do they merely overlap for a moment? The strongest alliances are ones where competitive goals may differ, but strategic direction aligns. If you're headed to genuinely different places, the partnership is a temporary truce, not a foundation. The learning balance check. Are you positioned to learn as fast as they are? Or are you walking into a classroom as the subject being studied? If the asymmetry runs against you and you can't close it, walk. Dependency test. If this ends badly, do you survive? If the honest answer is, we'd be crippled, you're not gaining a partner. You're building a single point of failure into your own company. Motive clarity. Can both sides state specifically what they get? Vague enthusiasm. This'll be great for both of us, is the #1 early symptom of an alliance that falls apart once the honeymoon fades. Fail any one of these badly, and the answer is no, no matter how good the logo pairing looks in the press release. And the moment to kill a bad partnership is early, while it's still a slide in a deck. Once 2 organizations have sunk months and political capital into a deal, the sunk cost gravity makes no almost impossible. That's exactly how doomed partnerships get signed. Let me tie this together. The individual strategies matter, but the mindset underneath them matters more. The reason most partnerships destroy both companies isn't bad luck. It usually isn't even bad partners. It's a category error. Companies walk in thinking they've entered a marriage, permanent, trusting, one shared future, when they've actually entered a race that happens to have a friendly starting line. Here's the part that surprises people. The executives who understand this, who know it's a race, build better, longer partnerships, not worse ones, because they enter with clear eyes. They protect what needs protecting. They contribute real value instead of anxiously giving away their secrets. A partnership between 2 parties who both know it's a race, who both stay strong, stay needed, stay honest about their interests, is far more stable than one built on a fairy tale that collapses the first time interests diverge. The dependency spiral, the hollowing out, the deadlock, the value that quietly flows one direction, those don't come from treating a partner as a competitor. They come from pretending they could never be one. So before your next partnership, 4 questions. What are you here to learn? What must you never expose? How do you leave? And should you even walk in? Answer those honestly, and you'll be in the minority of companies that come out of partnerships stronger than they went in. Everyone else is at the altar, admiring the ring, not reading the contract. I'll see you in the next one.